There's a thriving autism community in this area working to support families on their personal journeys, starting with acceptance after a diagnosis and then surrounding them with the resources that they need to succeed.
In this week's Acts of Kindness, Anthony Antoine shares one family's personal story and highlights the deserving caregiver whose sacrifice that is doesn't go unnoticed.
I'm ready for a walk now.
You're ready for a walk.
Happiness comes in different forms.
Let's do it. Let's go for a walk.
For 30-year-old Jamie, being outside is one of them. He enjoys walks and doing farming activities around the house.
He's got a lot of talents, and it's just finding what he likes and running with it.
Jamie has autism, and for his sister, Ann Flippin, the goal is to create the best life possible for her little brother.
It's been a struggle to find services that really work for him.
The struggle isn't unique, especially when round-the-clock care is the norm, not the exception.
It's hard to find service providers who are able to provide the level of care that individuals like my brother need because the rates are so low.
Adult services for people with autism are limited, and there's an extensive wait list for Medicaid waivers to get individual care throughout the day.
There's over 12,000 people on that waiting list and 3,000 that are already in crisis. So we're one of the fortunate families to have one of those waivers that allows him to live in the community.
Rachel Matthews is a behavioral analyst with the Faison Center in Henrico, a space for children and adults with autism.
I have the boys in the evenings and then the early mornings and overnight. They have daytime care during the daytime so that I can go to work.
She lives with and takes care of Jamie and his housemate Trey, who's also on the spectrum.
I'm grateful that I can provide relief for at least a couple of families who didn't know what would happen to their child. It's just so important for them to know that if anything does happen to them, or when the time comes that they're no longer here, that their child is cared for, and not just that their basic needs and wants are met, but that they're loved and supported, and that they're able to live their best life.
The boys are like her kids, and like any parent, love doesn't come with a price tag.
She's not getting paid to do it. She's just doing it because she loves them and sees them as like a family. And we're very, very fortunate to have her, and I wish everyone with autism had a Rachel in their lives.
Rewarding Rachel with the NBC 12 Acts of Kindness is a small way for Ann and her family to show their appreciation.
We have a special gift from our friends. Do you want to hand this to Rachel?
Oh, thank you so much. Should we use it for our Disney trip?
These two women are bonded by not only a love for Jamie, but a love for the entire autism community, having witnessed the struggles firsthand. Rachel watched as her mom adjusted to raising a son with autism. Ann is now the executive director of the Autism Society Central Virginia, constantly advocating for families facing this reality. As children with autism get older, so do their parents. And that's when things can become even harder, financially, physically, and emotionally.
That's our family's biggest fear. It's like, what's going to happen to our loved one when we aren't around anymore to take care of them? And that's why there's siblings like me who are really passionate about helping.
Happiness comes in different forms. And for Jamie, having his independence by living alongside Trey and Rachel is where he's the happiest. On your side.
Yeah, there are times when being with Jamie can be challenging.
Anthony Antoine.
But he always makes it worthwhile.
NBC 12.